day, everyone. Good Monday. How are you today? Seb here from the Transformational Meditation Group. Welcome to Love Your Love Muscle, our bi-weekly podcast show, videocast show, whatever you call it, or at least a meditation session where we talk about everything that we pour our heart into. Sometimes we have guests, maybe next week already, um, talking about what they love to do, they pour their heart into, what kind of projects they have going on. Could be anything. Always inspirational guest and wonderful to hear. And if we don't have guests, we either do an intention session for someone that is sick or someone needs support from us, or we do a themed meditation session. So what did we do last time, 2 weeks ago? Do you remember? What did we do? Oh, come on, folks. We held a intention session for my good friend Sakdeep, who had to undergo a operation to remove a brain tumor. And we set the intention session, of course, for a good operation, that the tumor was very small, that it was easy to remove, and that the recovery was speedy. And well, I think already 2 days after the operation, I got a message from Sukdeep saying, well, the operation went well. It was no problem, just positive news. And I think she was already home as well. So it went perfect. And I'm 100% positive it went perfect because we contributed with our good, wonderful, caring intention the day before. So wonderful, and thank you so much for everyone that joined during that session and that put their hearts into that intention for Sakdeep. Also, thank you on her behalf. Okay. Hey, Tsu. Good to have you here. Hey, Aquarius. Hey, Mirali. Hey, Rimal. Good to have you all here. Hey, everybody on Fireside, and hey, everybody on Telegram as well. No guest today. No questions today, and I want to talk about courage, cultivating courage. How do we do that? And what is courage and why do we need it? Well, in our work with the Transformational Meditation Group, we try to change lives. Uh, People try to change their own lives, give it a new direction, go into a new path, but we also help others do the same thing. And that takes courage. Because changing your life means you need to change something in your life, and change is something new. You can change back to something old, but you already know how that will go. And most likely, if you want to change your life, you want to change to something new, a new direction. And everything that's new is scary, isn't it? It's unfamiliar. It makes us a bit nervous, insecure. A bit of fear is there in as well. Uh, how do we do that? We need courage to get over that fear. Need courage to get over that insecurity. How can we do that? How can we cultivate courage to make those changes we want in our life? Well, by just taking it very slowly, step by step, and practice. Practice on your future. That's what we do with visualization techniques and meditation techniques. You can also do how I learned to swim, for example, which is just go for it without any preparation, or at least as little preparation as possible. When I learned to swim, I had to learn to swim in an outdoor pool. It was in the summer, but it was still very cold in the water. And there were different pools with different levels of water. So we started, of course, shallow, where we could stand. And for me, that wasn't a problem. I liked the water. But then all of a sudden, we practiced everything. And then the swimming teacher said, well, let's go to that pool where we can't stand on our feet, and which is colder and deeper. And it's an outdoor natural pool. So we couldn't see the bottom of the pool. It was sand on the bottom. It was beautiful. It was very good water. It was natural spring water, basically. So healthy as well. But that's not what you think about when you're a little boy that tries to learn how to swim. And naturally, I have a logical mind. I mean, we have holes in our nose, our mouth, our ears, and I really have some other parts as well. And playing in the bathtub, I know that things with holes in it fill with water. So I was like, I mean, as long as I can stand, I know I can't sink. But if I can't stand, of course, I'm gonna jump into the water. I'm going down. All my holes are getting filled. My body is getting filled with water, and I'm going to sink. So I became very scared and afraid. And well, my swimming teacher wasn't very patient with me. So he just pulled me into the water and first with a hook under my arm, but I was so scared and the water was so cold. But eventually I got used to it. I went over it pretty quickly. That's a thing you can do as well. I mean, just forget about everything and just go for it. But you can also do it in small steps. And for me, the step from going to a shallow pool straight into the deep pool was too much for me. Maybe I had to go through some other pools before, like one where I could stand, but where the water became deeper and deeper the further you go in, like in the ocean, for example. So yeah, but what do people do that like to take cold showers or like to take cold showers that want to try to take cold showers? They take it one step at a time. It's advised to take a cold shower just for a few seconds, maybe at first. And then every time you take that cold shower, you make it longer and longer. And you practice and practice, and you get more and more used to the cold. And all of a sudden, you're standing there under your cold shower for 5 minutes. Next time, 10 minutes. It's like nothing to be worried about. And the same with courage to make change in your life. Practice in small steps. And we can visualize that. We can visualize the steps we need to take, practice it create that inner experience where we practice the situation, practice being uncomfortable at first and then get used to it just by doing it in our inner world, inner experience. And you will notice the moment you stand there before that job interview, for example, you were so nervous about, or before that presentation you had to hold, or before that performance if you're an actor, for example, or before your competition when you are an athlete, you have practiced it, and you before you know it, you stand there. It's the time to uh, to do it, and you have been practicing so much in your inner world inside of you that it comes natural. It's like you always have done it before, always have done that. So that's what we're going to do today. I want you to find something. Just think about something you are uncomfortable with. And something you don't, some things you are uncomfortable with, you should be uncomfortable with maybe, but something you are comfortable with now, but want to be more comfortable with in the future. It could be that you are scared of spiders, for example. If that's what you are uncomfortable with, you're uncomfortable around spiders. Just an example. Think about something. Maybe you want to type it in the chat for those on Second Life or on Fireside. Or write it down for your own, or just keep it in your mind's eye. And as you do that, I want you to find a comfortable position. So you already get ready. Mirali wants to be more comfortable with controlling her breath. Okay, yeah, well, we're going to practice that live now, so that's good. Nice. Good, okay, so if you found a comfortable position, maybe you haven't quite figured out what you want to get more comfortable with, but that's okay. Something will come up. This is just practice, okay? Rimael says he was shocked today because my group leader at work leaves and is afraid to get that his group leader gets replaced by bully. Okay, That's a good one. You can practice that. Um, Maybe not practice what if the next leader, team leader, is a bully, but maybe you want to set an intention and prepare yourself for a wonderful replacement. Then we are going into the realm of attraction and manifestation. But maybe you want to practice the uncomfortable with the uncertainty. That could be it. Maybe it's that what you want to do, Rimel. Practice with the uncertainty, being uncomfortable with uncertainty. Can you become more comfortable with certainty? That might be a good one. You see, it helps when you interact, folks, especially for those on Fireside, which is a participatory medium. So, I mean, if you tell me your thoughts or if you write something down, we get something positive out of it. Good. Okay, find a comfortable position. You might have already done that. And let's practice getting more comfortable with the uncomfortable. And in the process, we cultivate courage, because the more we do that, the more resilient we become and the more courage we cultivate. Close your eyes, sit up straight, take a nice deep inhale through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Lower your shoulders, let the day go, breathe all the way out, let the day go, relax, breathe in again through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel yourself getting centered, feel yourself getting settled. Breathe normally and prepare yourself mentally for a nice visualization. Since we were talking about controlling our breath, for a moment notice where in your body you feel your breath the most. Where in your body you feel your breath the most. Maybe you feel your breath the most in your nostrils. Maybe you feel your breath the most in the back of your throat. Maybe you feel your breath the most in your chest or your tummy. Put your awareness, your focus on that point in your body where you feel your breath the most. And notice how you are breathing through that point. Notice the colder air flowing in as you breathe in, and the warmer air flowing out as you breathe out through that point. Now make sure you are breathing slower and deeper. So continue breathing through that point and breathe slower and deeper. Keep it comfortable, just slower and deeper than you usually would do. You can try a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. If that counts, makes you more comfortable. Doesn't have to be precise. Most important thing is breathing slower and deeper. And that is just to give your body a sense that it is in a safe place. And we use this focus point, that point where you feel your breath the most, as our anchor point. So whenever during this session you lose concentration, your mind wanders off to other things, the thoughts begin to be all over the place, then just gently and without any judgment, get back to that point where you feel your breath the most. And then continue where you left off. Okay. Now imagine that situation is coming up where you notice you are getting uncomfortable. Imagine a scene in your mind's eye, in your inner world, where you are in that uncomfortable situation, or that uncomfortable situation is coming close or near. Maybe that feeling of uncertainty bubbles up. Maybe your friend takes you to the zoo and you have to go past an aquarium or whatever it is called with spiders in it, if you're afraid of spiders. You feel like, oh, I don't know, maybe one gets out. It's okay during a meditation to visualize something you are uncomfortable with. It's practice. But keep breathing calm and deep. Keep breathing a little slower and a little deeper than usual. Stay with your anchor point. As you go into that uncomfortable situation, that uncomfortable feeling, just see how it's going to be all right. That uncertain feeling, can you recognize that you don't have control over what is going to happen? And that it's maybe better to change that feeling into a feeling of it's going to be all right. I don't have control over this situation, but it's going to be all right. Can you step closer to that uncomfortable situation? Can you step more inside of it by holding on to that anchor point and your breath? And if you need to back out, if you need to take a few steps back in your inner world, in that inner scene you are creating around you, with your mind's eye, if you need to take a step back, then do that. Maybe you want to take a seat, get back to your breath again. And notice that you're still alright. Maybe you want to get up again and get back into that situation and practice again. And notice that every time when you back off and take a seat and calm down, keep breathing through that anchor point. Notice that you're still okay. You can do that a few times. Going back and forth. And maybe after a while, it doesn't have to be in one session. You can do this every day for a few days. Maybe then after a while you decide, you know what, this has been so great. I've been so okay. Let's push through it. Let's see what's on the other side. Maybe if you were uncertain about a certain person coming into your world, maybe you can visualize and imagine in your mind's eye that it is not the case, that this person is wonderful. Practice on that. And if you were afraid of that spider, or the spiders in that aquarium, now go closer to the aquarium. Put your hand on the glass. And maybe there's another one. Another aquarium. And you go from one to the other. And notice how it's going to be alright. How you succeed every step along the way. And this is a process. And everyone has its own speed going through this process. For some people it just take a few tries in one session. For others they use days, every day a few moments, weeks. All depends on the situation. There's no right, no wrong here. At least no wrong. As long as you practice. Facing that uncomfortable situation where you feel uncertain, maybe afraid. And doing this in your inner world is safe. Practicing in your inner world is safe. Keep breathing calm and deep. And practice. And you train your mind, you train your body, you train your nervous system to be more courageous, to face that situation in real life with courage and resilience. So I give you a minute or so to try to either get back into that uncomfortable situation or maybe even try to get past it. Go ahead. Keep holding on to your anchor point, to that point in your body where you feel your breath the most. Your breath is your support here. Calm, deep breaths. Beautiful. Okay. Very good. Now let's slowly get back again to the present moment, to our wonderful 3D world. And we can do that by noticing the room you are in. Getting back out of that situation you were in. Noticing the room you are in, noticing any sounds in a room you are in right now. And take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, slowly move your body back and forth and from side to side. As you become more and more present in this moment, maybe you want to wiggle with your fingers and toes, and when you are ready, just open your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back. And know that what we're practicing now is not gone. Practice, practice, practice. It will build up and it will stay, and we will program our mind and our body to already be in that future. Visualization, creating feelings inside of us, the feelings we want to have instead of the feelings we don't want to have. And doing this in a group is a bit difficult because everybody has their own situation they are uncomfortable with that they want to change. So like somebody wanted to control their breathing better, the other one was afraid of a bully getting on at work, not getting bullied at work, but getting somebody in the workplace that is a bully. I mean, there are different things. Other people are afraid of spiders, for example. So it's hard to guide you through that in a generic way. But in my one-on-one sessions, we do this like very detailed. Then someone tells me, okay, this is what I want to change. I'm not comfortable in this situation, but I need to be. I want to be. Otherwise, uh, I stagnate, there's no growth, or whatever it is. And then we make a guided meditation around that. And we record it sometimes. Someone can take it with them home, replay it, and practice. And like I said, for some, it just happens on the spot during that one-on-one session. For others, it might take a while. They use a few days, they use a few weeks. But also when it comes to big, big changes, like really people wanting to turn their lives around, I have wonderful examples of, especially with people who are addicted to various things. It's just so I love following those people through that whole process because it's so fantastic to see how they do this. It surprises me every time how people that are so willing to change that, like almost on a desperate level, I would say, but they are so willing to change how they fit into that. Merrily writes, I remember once being asked to control my breathing, and after about 10 breaths, I got stricken, thinking I can't continue doing this. But then I laughed because, of course, we have to continue breathing. Yeah. Well, I can kind of relate to that. I've been working in a cancer therapy for many years on a radiation department. And there has been a device there that really uh, controls people's breathing. So you put it in someone's mouth and it just stops giving you oxygen and you have to stop breathing. And that's a panicking situation someone can be in if you all of a sudden you can't breathe because some device is just blocking that for you. I mean, that's just horrible. So we don't use that device, of course, but there have been such devices on the market and some hospitals use it. And that's a form of getting controlled. But with meditation, and now I understand a little bit what you're meaning here, Murli, I guess. Um, with meditation, and what I always say, you're free to choose the rhythm that's comfortable for you. I always suggest 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale, as that is like a very good standard that most people can do. But if you really need to breathe quicker than that, then do that. But at least try to slow down your breath and make it deeper because that signals your body, your nervous system, um, into being into a safe place. So it's a signal to our body that our body is safe. So we get more out of that flight and fight modus because of that. And yeah, merely you have to continue breathing. Uh, I would advise doing that. It's the smartest thing to do. Whatever happens, continue breathing. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Like that very much. So yeah, Rimal, I hope you can practice this with your new team leader coming in and make sure that you practice the good experience as well. So the moment you prepare for this and you practice and your body is already in that state of okay, this is going to be a good person, um, even if that person is a bully, you will notice that you you will experience this person differently than what you otherwise would have done. That's my experience with resilience training um, and self-regulation. That like the moments I get into situations my old self wasn't comfortable with, or I would react in a very different way than I would do now, I would notice that like, oh my, this is the new me and it's working. And then it makes it much more fun to do more self-regulation and to see what other things you can improve in your life. But that's just me. Some people just want to do one thing at a time. Okay, great. I don't want to keep you up much more longer. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll be back again next week on Thursday, so you have a longer break from me this time. Yeah. We are back on Thursday next week with our show called Just Meditate, where we focus mostly on easy meditation techniques and just have fun with meditation. If you have questions about meditation techniques, setting up a daily meditation practice, you are most welcome to ask them during that session. Great. Mary will be away for a couple of weeks. See you when I get back. Of course, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Thank you everyone on Fireside, and thank you everyone on Fireside who's watching the recording, and thank you everyone on Telegram um, for hanging around as well. I hope you like this session, and I hope to see you back Thursday next week. Take good care, be safe, have a wonderful rest of your evening, wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.